Now we shift to girls wrestling. Let's take a look at the county champions and their final records from the season. Man Valley's Faith Day earned county title number 3. The senior placed third at states. Mav's teammate Layla Lagunas also won her third career county crown. Liberty's Aubrey Oler got to a state final in her first varsity season. The upper weights, Winters Mill junior Gabby McLeod also competed in the state final at Showplace Arena in early March. McLeod helped the Falcons win the teen county championship in February. And let's hear a little more about Winters Mill. Time to welcome Winters Mill girls wrestling coach John Lowe to the set. Coach, thanks for joining us here today.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks for having me.
Winters Mill fielded a full squad this winter and went on to win the Carroll County Athletic League team tournament title in mid-February behind 3 county champs. The Falcons outlasted reigning champ Francis Scott Key to finish with 124 points at counties. Big Mill went on to place 8th as a team at the girls state tournament. Coach, after spending many seasons on the sideline on the co-ed side for Winters Mill, what drew you to come back to coach the girls?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When I got out, I handed it over to then head coach Eric Mazzeros and planned on doing other things. I did some officiating and was going to try some other stuff, and had gotten underway with that. And then the MPSSAA said, we're going to start girls wrestling without much of a warning. And Eric came back and said, please do not retire yet.
Not yet.
And my first answer was like, all right, but I'm going to come and go as I please. You know, I'll teach some technique here and there. And in the first year, not as many girls. Practices were together in a small space, and attendance was now and then. And then
it's going that way.
Things kept going up. And then and after the COVID year, which Carroll County was the only one who participated, we actually had 5 girls out, taught some technique. By the time I came back, we had 16, and I realized, okay, this is a thing.
You're in.
And I have to say, I really do enjoy coaching female athletes. It's a different ball game. Many things are the same. I mean, they're athletes, they're high school kids. You still got to focus on the same things. But the girls listen very well, and they're appreciative. And the idea of creating kind of a family situation is right along their lines. And so I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad I did it.
Great. Winters Mill didn't have a ton of champions at counties, but up and down the lineup, you guys scored plenty of points and they scored enough to win. What does that say about this year's group, what they were able to do there in the postseason?
We didn't have a senior in the starting lineup, so we're young. And they're quick learners, and they're all progressing. So if everybody's scoring a few points here or there, it says to me that they're getting close, and that they, I think, can be contenders.
And obviously it turned out for you guys. If not for a few injuries at states, it seems as if you guys were poised for a top 5 finish as a team. What are the expectations of the program going forward from that experience and what you just mentioned, the young group? You got to like the way the Winters Mill girls wrestling is headed.
I've been trying to get into their head. Look, we really can contend. We're going to be threats to win. And again, the injuries happen. We had 3 ankles go this year. Ankles are not usually that big an injury in wrestling, and we had 3 of them. And so 4 or 5 starters were down by the time we got to the postseason. They still put some points on the board at states. And if you win a match at states, it tells me you belong there. I look at some of the teams that finished ahead of us at states, and they only had like 2 or 3 girls, but they did very, very well. And it says to me that if all of these girls get their game on at the right time, they're gonna.
And if their mindset is there,
they're gonna have a chance to really, not just contend, but really win big.
Make big statements for sure. Well, now I'm going to take a look at the finalists for Girls Wrestler of the Year, and we have 3 up: Winters Mill's Gabby McLeod, Manchester Valley's Faith Day, and Liberty's Aubrey Oler. Day went 23-2 and won her 3rd career county title before she placed 3rd at states. Oler burst onto the varsity scene with a 20-5 record and a spot in the state finals before taking 2nd in her freshman year. And McLeod was unbeaten at 20-0 for Winters Mill before losing to a 3-time junior national champ in the state finals. Coach, we talked about all 3 of these at some point, but we'll talk about each one of them now. Start with Faith Day, just if you remember back to what she did for Man Valley.
Anybody who's been coaching in the county knows all of these young ladies. The Oler family and the Day family have been around forever. Her grandfather is a Hall of Famer. Her dad was a state champ. Faith has been a hammer since the very beginning. And returning state champ, her expectations were high, and she was just a monster. Like, girls don't want to wrestle her because they know how tough she is. She competes with a lot of the guys that she wrestles. She's strong. She's knowledgeable. So a real pro.
And she loses that semifinal, and then she comes back and gets 3rd, which is always a big deal.
And that semifinal was just unbelievable. It was. I was glued. I was supposed to be down on the floor and went up the girls, and I I stayed up in the stands because I had a good shot, and I need to watch this all the way through. It was phenomenal.
How about your own, Gabby McLeod? What a great season she had to get all the way to the finals.
So Gabby, she wasn't scored on all the way until the finals. She has some of the most uncanny balance, strength, athleticism of anybody I've ever coached. And when she learns something, she is explosive with it and very, very dangerous. I've seen her where she's being outscored by a better opponent, and she turns it around and finds a way to pin that opponent. And so, I told her, we knew what it was going to be like going to the finals against Nebby Sarney.
Sure.
Literally the outstanding wrestler of the entire country. Yeah. And I said, but you're dangerous. So she's a lot of potential, and I think, compared to the other two girls, maybe doesn't have as much technical background. They've got families who've been wrestling, but I look forward to seeing what she's going to do next year.
It's a winner's mill special. And what impressed you the most about Aubrey Oler, what she was able to do?
So same thing. Aubrey was coming into our open mats when she was in middle school. Both of her brothers, they're excellent wrestlers as well. Watched one at college at some of the tournaments that my son was wrestling in. Yep. And the younger one, of course, phenomenal season as well in the finals.
On the side,
Great family. She impressed me because, no matter how good you are at the junior level, you never know what it's going to be like when you get into the real heavy duty pool. And she obviously did awesome. She was a monster all year long.
All the way to the finals,
and couldn't wait to see what that final was going to be like because that young lady was top notch too.
Yes. Yeah.
The lady that beat her in the finals was the outstanding wrestler in our co-ed tournament this year. So I knew that was going to be a barn burner as well.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's onward and upward then for all three, and Faith will move on, and then the other two will be back, I'm sure. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Coach John Lowe, appreciate your time today, and congrats on a great season.
Thanks so much.
Want more local sports coverage? Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.